Oh hey guys, let's draw and design another fiery explosion. So I've got these explosions, and in the previous tutorial I did this guy right here. So he's a center lit dude with puffiness on the outside and kind of goopy plasma pouring out into the outside, and I referenced this as the original design that I had done before and showed you how to make this one. So this tutorial we're going to talk about this guy. So there's something that I really like about this, and basically it is that it has these nice big poofy circle shapes. But they're not just boring circle shapes, they're divided up by this shadow shape, which creates these nice circles inside that also complement against the plasma, or the fiery interior. So if I double click on this guy and I go to frame 6, I'm using my flipbook template here. I'm just going to draw a little doodad there. So I can go back out to my stage, and now I can edit over here. Now I'm on frame 6 inside the flipbook. And I can Control A, copy that guy. I'm going to paste him on top of where this ghosted version is. I'm going to nudge it with the arrow keys. You can also move it with the selection tool. Close enough. But I want that up here on this layer. Oops, I have to unlock it to paste it in place. Control-Shift-V. Delete that guy. Okay, so now I'm finally ready to get cracking. So I'll lock the guide layer, so I'm ready to go. So the first step is to create my big shapes. The goal is to create this in the same style, not to literally recreate that, but to create something that looks like it could live in the same world as that dude. So we just create some bubbles of smoke, like so. This one's probably cutting in a little close to the middle. If I look at this guy, the very center is where it's hottest, and I want to be able to have a center hotspot. So I'm going to need to move this guy out. I'll move him out pretty far, give myself some space there. Another thing that I notice about this is that the shapes, let's see, the shapes taper, they taper inward. I don't know if you can see that. So it's like a small point right here, and that's really wide up here. So this guy right now is kind of evenly wide on both sides. So I can use the eraser tool to shave that off. Get feeling a little better. If you end up getting some warbly edges, you can use the lasso tool, select an area, and do Control 1, which should be the smooth tool. If you set it up according to instructions in tutorial number 1, you can see that it's handy for creating nice smooth areas. The key is to only select small areas at a time when you're smoothing. If you select too big of an area, it'll do some weird stuff to your shape. Simplify it down too much. Okay, get that there. Alright, so we got these shapes kind of coming out in a funky way. I'm liking it. It's feeling good. You don't want just the same shape over and over and over again coming out like that. Although admittedly that feels kind of fun. Like, don't do this. Oh, never mind. That looks pretty good. I don't know, let's see how good that looks. That might be one too many. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Right, zoomed out, do a little perspective for a minute there. We need the shape. No, not there. I don't know. I don't like that guy anymore. The guy looked at me wrong, so I deleted him. Trying to get this little divot out of that circle there. Alright, and then I don't know, maybe shoots off a little bit over here. And maybe I do Control 4 on that to flip it horizontal. Again, hotkey setup. Oop. Do not hit Control Q. That will quit. Oh, I like this too. It's got like a growth coming out of it. That's kind of fun. I want it to, yeah, do something like that. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so we got the shapes now. Now these, this orange shape is also kind of bubbly, but it's a little more plasmy. It has like a little wave right there, and it has more like points of contact, like it creases in on itself a little bit, you know, something like that. So I'm just going to use the line tool to create that shape. So let's see. See how it goes. Yeah. I drop it and fill. I didn't close off my line somewhere. I bet it's right here. There we go. I'm seeing this could connect through like that. That's much better. Okay. All right. And then bring these up onto this guy. And then give this guy some love over here. Sure, why not? Got room for one more negative shape in here, or positive shape. Positive negative shape, but I don't know. And then we'll just fill in. You know, the advantage of doing a cartoony style is it goes pretty quick. I think that's why there's so many TV shows with a simplified style, is because the reality is it's just a very efficient style to work in. That shape going there. That's why I was able in this image to do shadow shapes on the puffy smoke, whereas in the previous one it doesn't have any shadow shapes because it's got so much detail all around that really it would be a little burdensome to do shadow shapes. So I'll tell you my philosophy behind shadow shapes on this dude. So you'll notice that there is no dark shape touching the orange. And that's because the orange, in theory, is casting a light out onto the cloud. So if I'm keeping that in mind, I want to make these shapes as interesting as possible. How interesting. I can do a shape like that and it seems to work fine. Now, having this come down almost the center is less than ideal. So I'm going to do it over here instead. So it just feels a little more dynamic. So you get this nice big shape there. Something that I liked about this was how the orange came up and kind of did some interesting things. So I'm going to do that over here. Alright, that going like that. Still not quite what I was hoping for. I don't know. I don't even know, guys. No, I want to fill that in. Nope, start over. Scrap the whole thing. A couple things I'm noticing. Okay, I've got options here, right? Because first off, these two are very similar, and it's weird that I decided to put a small shape right next to another small shape. So if I hit undo and go back to here, I can do this. I can bring this up and make this the big shape, and then put the small shape here, like so. And then I have the freedom of doing that. Get that nice orange shape I wanted. Etc. Still not satisfied? Me neither. How about this? This bursty shape over here, right? Instead of that guy, oops, let's just delete him. Let's just delete stuff, guys. If you don't like how it's looking, just get rid of it. Attach a shape right there. And then I can do exactly what I've been wanting to do. Oops. Delete that. Right, so I'm just playing around with all the possibilities of what these positive and negative shapes could be. Just having fun with it. Trying stuff. One of my favorite shapes over here is this guy. He comes in as a negative shape, but really comes alive. There's a really interesting shape over there. So I want to find ways to create those kinds of shapes, right? So much of creating effects is just being deliberate. You know, think about the stuff that you're creating and the effect that it's going to have on the image as a whole. And then make stuff that's going to enhance it and bring out the coolness, the cool factor. So I was able to do that. I'm worried that this and this and this are all the same height, so I'm going to nudge this guy down. Get him out of there. So I have a little bit of variation. And then I can bring this guy out, make him bigger. Well, that guy's actually okay. Ain't hurting nobody. Let's see now. I want to... Sure. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Alright, I like it. Maybe for some reason there's a little dude here. Whoops. Whoops. If I put this guy in the middle, then it's like in the middle, right? I don't want that. So instead, I'm going to put him right there. No one will suspect a thing. There we go. The shapes are getting away from me. They're getting a little big and out there. So, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to move my shapes back in. Alright. That guy. Fit that guy in. Oh boy. The line tool is N on the keyboard, so you can get rid of guys like that. Give him the troubles. Move him in. I'm trying to just tighten this whole thing up. And then I just adjust this dude like so. Cool. A little finagling, and I did. I brought my shapes back in. Bring it in. One thing I'm missing about this guy is how wide this curve is, right? It makes it feel even more bubbly and cartoony. So I'm going to come over here, instead of having that mask go out that far. Never be afraid to overhaul your work. I know I said that earlier, but I mean, it's just, sometimes you're just better off letting go of what you've been working on and starting fresh with a new idea. Maybe it's not a new idea, maybe it's just the better idea that you knew all along. Alright, get that going. Bring this over even further. Basically do the same thing I was doing before. Just shifting everything around. Nope. Nope. Get that to connect. Delete that there. Hope you guys are getting something out of this. I'm kind of being random. This is basically how I work though. I just kind of randomly move around destroying things. It's a pretty fun way to work, I think. Yeah. A little shape there, and that should be enough. Just add some quick shadows here. It's funny because earlier I was saying how fast it is to work on this. So now here the temptation is to do this, but remember what I said. The dark should not touch the orange, because the orange is casting a light onto that. So, no touchy. Alright, that's kind of a fun negative shape. It's like that, and then there's this dude coming in there. I could kind of emphasize that more by doing that. And rather than this being kind of like a boring rectangle, I could give it another arm. Coming out there, and we can thin it out so that it's not kind of this boring thickness. There we go. Nothing boring. Never. That's my policy. These are effects. They should be interesting. Alright. This is feeling weird. So I'm going to make it not feel weird. There we go. Simplified that. Alright, so this shape I like that it's like, you know, kind of slanted, awkward. I'm going to play that up. Make it thinner on one side. So this one's kind of slanted like that, so they're like being together, so it's thinner over here and wider over here. It's kind of subtle, but it's the subtle things that count. Or something. Sure, why not? Subtle. It's the subtle things that count. Sticking with it. So these guys are floating off in space, so they're not touching the orange at all, so they should definitely be dark. And let's look at it without the outline. Let's look at it from far away. I'm liking it. So yeah, it's feeling good. Maybe I could add a little more to it. I'm thinking, guys, this one could be a little bigger. Just stick with me here on this one. A little bigger, a little further out. And it could have a trail on it. A little thing like that with an exclamation mark. It's so cute. This is a cute explosion. So play up the factor. The cute factor. Did I make that one dark? I did not. I missed one. I can't believe it. Alright, look at it again. Yeah, I'd say it's looking pretty close to done. The only difference might be right now that guy and that guy pretty equidistant. Kind of want to just go ahead and connect these, so I'm free to bring this over tighter and closer to that dude, like so, and I can flare that out there, which feels kind of fun. So now we got wide, thin, we got the same width here. Maybe that's better? Gosh guys, I don't know. Maybe flare that out. Yeah. Let's play with those shapes. You can't play with your food, but you can play with your shapes. Remember that, kids. Yeah, that's kind of a fun fiery shape there in the core, kind of moving through there. So I feel like that's in a good spot. Control S, zoom way out, look at it really small. This is actually a really fun exercise to see how it's going to look in game, you know, especially if it's a mobile game, handheld device. Man, you got to zoom way out to see how that's actually going to look. I'm guessing it's going to be a mobile game because it's a highly stylized explosion, and typically mobile games go for simplified styles. Not all the time, but I guess there's some Steam games and other types of games out there that use simple styles too. There you go. There is the simplified, stylized, cartoonified explosion. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something.